Get ready for the Tech Zone. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific time zone. Add the app to your cell phone. Paul Amadeus Lane Zone. With informative interviews and breakthroughs with CEOs and gurus and who's and reviews. Count on Paul to bring y'all the news. Yeah, he done paid dues and never snooze. Refused to lose and stayed humble and still played by the rules. On the scene since 16, Pop's been Paul's gasoline. Spiritual house have to stay clean. Put the kingdom first, y'all know the routine. In the world, the sun clean disaster. It's the vaccine, so quarantine. Or relive the emphysema epidemic of 1918.
What's going on? Welcome to the Tech Zone. It is I, Paul Amadeus Lane. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We got a fast-packed show with 3 guests. We're going to be joined by the CTA Foundation. We're going to find out if this pandemic is having an impact on their mission and some of the things that they have going on in the tech world. So you don't want to miss that coming up here in this segment of the show. Second segment, we're going to talk about Comic-Con at home. Virtual event. What type of impact did this have on all the great folks who set up booths during San Diego Comic-Con? Now, if you've ever been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like maybe like 2 football fields of exhibitors there. What type of impact did this pandemic have on them? Well, we're going to be joined by a longtime exhibitor at Comic-Con to find out the answer to that question in the era of virtual events. And lastly, we are going to hear an inspirational story from an author out there that I'm sure you do not want to miss it. I know everybody's waiting to hear about the latest on my Facebook account that I got verified and hacked in 24 hours and just the impact that it had on me. I'm going to share that probably on the next show because I'm still undoing the damage right there. It's ridiculous. I'm not happy at that. But please be careful. If someone wants to advertise on your Facebook account, on your YouTube account, on your website that you have no idea who they are, just say no. Reputable business will reach out to you. Don't be greedy like me. All right, let's check in with the CTA Foundation and what they've been up to in this pandemic and have this pandemic slow them down any. I am so excited right now to be joined by one of my great friends, Steve Yule, the Executive Director of the Consumer Technology Foundation. Steve, my brother, how are you, man?
I'm doing awesome, Paul. It's always a pleasure to join you. Thank you for having me back, and I look forward to having a great conversation.
Hey, great to have you with me again. The last time we talked, we were with the amazing KR Lou from Google. We had a blast. I hope she don't get jealous that we don't have her on today. I guess we got to do another 3-way interview again. What do you think?
Hey, we just reach out to her, Skype her right in. I'm always happy to pull my board members in whenever I can.
Sounds good. And I love her to death. She is such an incredible person when it comes to the accessibility movement. Steve, that's one of the things I really wanted to connect with you about today was that how the foundation is so integral when it comes to assistive and adaptive technologies as well as other things. But this pandemic, what has it done to the progress and the growth of all the functions of the foundation?
Yeah, it has definitely been an interesting year. I'll tell you that. One of the things that we've really been working to do is work with all the different grant recipients that we have. So earlier this year, we gave out about $700,000 in grants to nonprofits across the country that are, working directly with either older adults or people with disabilities. We try to spread out pretty equally between those 2 populations and touch different communities around the country as well. But one of the challenges we faced is immediately taking all of these programs and things that have, been working in person for, years and decades in some cases, and bringing these programs into a more remote virtual environment. So, trying to help all these organizations as they're adapting to this new situation, working to really build a stronger network as well. We've started to do regular Zoom calls with all of our grant recipients. It's a great way for organizations that don't necessarily work together to provide a connection and really start to share, okay, this is what an organization working with the blindness community in, Massachusetts is doing versus San Francisco. And then here's what a deafblind community organization is doing. Here's what an organization for seniors, kind of across the different disability spectrum. Building that network and sharing best practices. And we've been seeing some great success and new partnerships emerging from that work. But it is a challenge out there. I mean, we're seeing just a greater competition for resources. I mean, a lot of people are really being very generous as they, support causes for COVID response. But there's a lot of organizations that are working in communities on issues like disability, on issues like senior care that are really struggling to find resources. And so we're trying to have the greatest impact that we can, work with our communities, work with the industry, and really make as a big impact as we can.
And Steve, when we look at just the incredible things that the foundation has done over the years, especially when it comes to the startup competitions, where ones are welcome to CES to showcase all the things that they're able to do, especially in the space. As you look back, and some of those companies right now are kind of like on the front lines when it comes to this COVID fight and offering certain things. Steve, how does that make you feel to know that you and the foundation board members saw something special in some of these companies, that they are now changing the game and shaping the way that the COVID response is shaping up and other things?
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about working with startups like those, is really seeing the innovation. And, we were really excited about these companies even before COVID hit. And now we're looking at how they can help, as many of us are working from home or, needing additional resources to respond. Some of the companies like, Miron, who I believe, came to us through the contest, through you helping to share with your audience, and the work that they're able to do to deliver kind of virtual rehab and other solutions along those lines. We're really excited to see what kind of innovations are being developed, ways that previous groups that we've worked with can adapt their solutions to work with the needs of the communities these days. And then, we're getting ready. Not quite ready to launch that competition quite yet for this year, but we're getting ready to do that. And I will certainly be reaching out to you and your audience as we look at what are the new innovations that are going to be out there. I'm also excited for what are the new innovations that are being created now, because we have so many people who are facing challenges right now, whether it is being stuck at home and socially isolated, whether it is finding new ways that they can work. We're going to get people who are going to be coming up with new solutions. And I think that's a great opportunity for us to, highlight those solutions, help promote them, and, look at what are the things, that can be developed, and how can we engage with the communities we're working with? How do we get innovators from the disability community to create some of the new solutions that we'll all be using, get, older adults creating solutions, get them involved kind of across the entire spectrum. So, I think there's a lot of exciting things happening. We just will pass the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. So, I think now is a great time to have these discussions and really push for those accessible innovations that we're going to have moving forward.
You have said something, Steve, that truly gives us optimism during this time. And that's why I love having you on, because sometimes we look at what's going on and it is a serious situation that we're dealing with, but there's also some really good things happening, out of this horrible pandemic that we're going through. And Steve, when you look at what all of our mindsets were in January when we hung out at CES. And, we had one particular goal in mind when it comes to tech, or maybe several. But then when this pandemic hit, it just like flipped the script on everything. And we're starting to see just the innovation just explode, and have ones who may have not had an opportunity to really make their impact in the tech world really become, the superheroes during this time. You mentioned as far as working from home and all these other innovations out there. And Steve, is there one out there or something in particular that you look at as a foundation, as a board, and you say, wow, let's maybe switch our focus to here because this looks like this is really going to impact things on another level?
I have a hard time saying there's one. That's kind of asking me to choose my favorite child as a favorite technology. So I really, I'm a geek that loves all kinds of technology. So
well, I tell you what, Steve, take several, my friend, because I always got more time for you. So you go ahead, take as many as you want. Let's talk about it.
I won't take up too much of your time. There are a few things happening. Actually, one of the things that's happening kind of right now is there's a lot of interesting discussions going on in XR technology. So whether it's virtual reality, augmented reality, and your friend and mine, Larry Goldberg with Verizon Media, is actually hosting a XR Access program. So lots of people from across industry and the disability advocacy groups, I know United Spinal's been involved in this, and others are having discussions about how do we make sure accessibility is built into some of these emerging technologies like XR. So definitely some exciting things happening there. But if I had to talk about one topic right now, it's probably going to be telehealth. When we're looking at how do we address, helping people connect to the healthcare that they need, helping them do that when they may be socially isolated, may not be able to get out, and may not want to spend a lot of time sitting in waiting rooms and other locations. I know there's a lot of health practices in place at doctors' offices to help spread people out, keep people safe. But, telehealth is really a big part of that discussion. One thing I'll just promote is we're actually getting ready to do a webinar with an organization called Grantmakers in Aging, which represents a number of funders in the aging space. And they're going to do a webinar featuring a couple of our grant recipients, but also Renee Quashie, who is the Vice President for Digital Health at CTA. And he's going to talk about telehealth, what we've seen as far as the emergence of telehealth during COVID, but also, what are we looking at as, hopefully we are getting to a point here sometime soon to get past COVID. What is that going to mean for telehealth as well? So, if any of your people are interested, giaging.org, Grantmakers in Aging, that webinar is going to be on the 30th. So kind of just after this goes live, and I'm sure they'd be happy to have people listen in and participate. But I'm definitely happy to connect Renee in with you. He'd be a great participant on the Techzone.
Hey, let's do it, man. What's funny, Steve, is when we had KR Lou on with us back in May, and KR and I joked about the 6 degrees of separation being like you. Steve, we know everybody through you, man. I mean, and Steve, I just want to give you props, man. I mean, you are one of the most, and this is not a word, but I'm going to make it a word today on the show, humblest person I've ever known, man. You just radiate a room when you roll through. The way you connect people, man, and because of you, a lot of us are connected, man. And I just want to say thank you that the work that you do at the foundation and the work that you do to reach out to evangelize and to advocate when it comes to tech, and how some of these underserved technologies are not getting the love that it deserves, and what you're able to do at the foundation, man. I just want to just toot your horn, man. You are an incredible person, and we appreciate all that you do, man, with keeping us informed and connecting us, my friend.
Well, Paul, that just means an incredible amount to me. So, thank you. And that's really what I enjoy, is really, finding finding both the technologies and the people in need and the ways that we can make those connections. And that's really what the CTA Foundation is about. It's, taking the good of the industry and really getting it to the people in need of the technology. So, we're really working to do as much as we can. There's certainly more that I would love to be able to do, and that is, just one of the challenges we face. We're a small team. There's 2 of us on the foundation, and we're getting as much resources out as we can. CTA is incredibly supportive of the work that we're doing as a foundation, and really, we're trying to partner with the industry, partner with the organizations we support, other partners throughout the community. The number of people who help contribute to our cause. It really, it's a wide world out there that we can bring together and advance these conversations, and it's so important to do.
It sure is, Steve. And is there anything out there that we as the media, we as the tech world can do to help out any area in the fight that you guys are in the foundation, to help out and assist? Please, share with us and let us know.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you're doing a lot of it, Paul. The fact that you're having these discussions, the fact that you are highlighting the needs that are out there, the technologies that exist to address, yes, accessibility, but also, general needs across the entire population. So, I just want to thank you for the work that you're doing in this space. Certainly if people want to find out more about what we're doing, go to ctafoundation.tech. It's .tech. And what we're doing is all up there. And then just, helping spread the word about the importance of accessibility, but also addressing, ableism and ageism. And, we're seeing the divides that are addressing, or impacting our community kind of across the country right now. And we need to make sure that, we can bring people together and address, all the various isms and really make a better society with it.
I totally agree. My friend. And what you do at the foundation, the board members, we truly, truly appreciate it. And Steve, I'm hoping and praying that we can get this pandemic under control, because I'm looking forward to being your neighbor at this year's or next year's CES, because that's gonna be pretty awesome, man. The way things are looking, and we can get a hold on this thing, because I think people always talk about we need sports. No, we need technology. We need CES. That's what we need, because technology and what the CTA is able to do impacts every aspect of our life. Sports, health, the way we live, the way we do everything. That's what we need, my friend. And I'm hoping and praying that things look positive so we can hang out again.
I will look forward to it. I always enjoy hanging out with you, and absolutely looking forward to a great CES and an opportunity to highlight some of the innovations that are there, and really hear kind of what you're able to find there as well, because that's actually what I love. Is I get so little time on the show floor to see some of these technologies. So it's going to people like you and saying, okay, you actually got to see a few things. Tell me what's exciting out there. So I look forward to doing that with you, and getting together here soon.
Hey, my friend, you stay safe. Looking forward to catching up with you soon. You and your family. Enjoy this new normal that we have now. You guys are incredible, and keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you so much for having me. And I look forward to the next conversation here very soon.
We'll do it. Always great catching up with Stephen Ewell, the executive director of the CTA Foundation. He talked about some great events that's happening this week. So if you missed what they were, just replay the interview. I know you say, Paul, won't you tell us? No, there's a method to my madness where I want you to rewind and check it out again. All right. When we get back, in this era of virtual events, what has the impact been on exhibitors who cover different shows or who exhibit at different shows like San Diego Comic-Con. Well, when we get back from our break, we're going to talk to a long-time exhibitor to find out the impact that this pandemic has had on him and his business. Be right back after these messages.